All right, I'm here with Dan the Beast Severn. And you know
Yeah.
what? This is greatness. I just had the extreme pleasure of being in your class. I'm not sure I really got it all,
Well, did,
but
did you have some fun though, at
oh
least?
my gosh, it was really fun. And it's always great to be with a master who can not only do things, but can also explain it to others. That articulation is such an important element. And you got it. You have a sense of humor to boot.
I was just a winging it. That's all I tell you. I just a winging it. Yeah.
Well, you've done everything, okay? I mean, Dan has done everything. He's got belts. He was a wrestler. I mean, done absolutely
From
everything from
amateur,
UFC.
amateur, amateur wrestling to mixed martial arts to professional wrestling to you name it, judo, sambo. Yeah, I do it all.
Yes, you have a lot of belts, and the UFC, of course, is scary. I mean, it's just downright scary. But the no holds barred, all the things you talked about. Oh my gosh, it's crazy.
Well, again, I can't sing or dance, so I had to do something.
You know what? I think you were doing singing and dancing in there, honestly. But you actually went to ASU.
Yes. So to be out here in Arizona again, and to be out here for the great FEMA event that's taking place, but then yes, this is my old stomping grounds because as a lowly 18-year-old freshman year, Arizona State University Sun Devils.
I know. Well, it's true. So you did start seventh or eighth grade as a wrestler, amateur wrestler, and I mean, there's really nothing you haven't accomplished at this point. But tell me, what was in your mind when you knew you were starting out? You knew you were going to lose. Did you just have that vision that you were going to become the beast?
Well, no, not that didn't come till later in life, but I did have a certain mindset that when I was doing my amateur wrestling, I would see people just squeak out a victory, just win by a few points, knowing that in your mind I only beat you by a couple points. You know in your mind that if you go back and do a little more training stuff like that, you can come back and then beat me possibly down the road. So to me, the ultimate victory was to pin a person against their will, to basically put them down on the mat and pin them. Once you did that, you stole their soul. So that the next time that you face them again, in the back of their mind, like going, he pinned me. He pinned me. Will he pin me again this time? And so it's like, not exactly positive thoughts that go through your mind. So that's where my two international styles probably prepare me better than anything, because doing freestyle Greco-Roman. Folk style is what we do in our junior high school on a collegiate level. But when you finally hit 20, 21 years of age and you're out of college, your career has come to an end, and now you're looking at starting a freestyle or Greco career if you want to represent the United States at the World Championships or at the Olympic Games. So the United States in general is behind the eight ball because most of these athletes are not starting that career until 20, 21 years of age, whereas all the other foreign countries, they're starting at 4, doing Greco and freestyle all their lives. So they dominate.
Right. Well, coming from, smallness into greatness, you have to have the right stuff. What would you suggest to anybody in any sport that wants to dominate? What do you have to have? What spiritual qualities or elements do you have to embody?
What I was reaching for right now, because I have in my little backpack, I have my planner. First off, you have to have a plan. And I always tell people, you don't have to buy a planner. You can use a calendar, whatever you want to do, but you gotta start setting goals for yourself. But see, a lot of people understand. You might say, I would like to be a state champion or something like that. But that's the end goal. What are all the little steps that you're going to do before that? how many days are you going to get up early and go run because your cardiovascular is not that good? How many days are you going to dedicate to weightlifting because you're not that strong? And are you weightlifting the correct way, meaning that you should be mimicking wrestling type moves, like stuff that's going to be doing like lat pull down, seated pulls, upright roll, because everything is like pulling and grabbing, pulling on in. So you need strong arms, but you need a strong core, and you need legs. So I said all those little micro things, and it's kind of going, but I always kept it to myself because it doesn't matter to anyone else. We all have that friend that says, I'm going to go out and do this. I'm going to go out and do that. And do they ever do it? No. I was always like the quiet person, sit back. But it was hard, though, too, because again, I'm going to use high school alone just as an example. I played football in the fall, so I had my football brothers and family. I wrestled in the wintertime, and in the springtime, I did track and field. The track coach would be angry, even though I had a deal with him. If there was a Saturday track meet and there was a Saturday wrestling meet, he wasn't going to see me at the track meet because I had already told him ahead of time that my investment is into the sport of wrestling. I have 7 other brothers and sisters. Asking mom or dad for money to go to college never entered my mind because mom and dad are feeding and clothing 8 kids. How am I going to do it? And that's what I get mad at so many young people right now because it's like, gimme.
Yeah.
No. Go out and work.
Right.
And I have my own children that they understand the same aspect. It's like, Dad doesn't give anything other than advice.
Great. I love that.
Yeah. Get off your lazy butt and go to work and get a job, and you might need to get a second job on top of that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, I certainly did that, and I've been very fortunate to do the things I want to do in life as well. So I think it is really important that we don't have a victim mentality and that we don't get a payoff from taking that attitude because it's not a winning attitude.
But we do have a very weak society.
Yes.
We live in an era that, first off, not to make people understand how to make eye contact anymore,
right.
Because their hand is all down into their palm,
phone.
In their palm. And now, on a comical note, though, where do they teach this class? With the 2 thumbs like going there. As far as I know, there is no class, and yet I see all these young people that they have these 2 thumbs going. Me, on the other hand, I'm the one finger.
I hate to admit, I'm doing that too. I'm really only 29 years old, but I mean, I'm totally that too. But no,
I thought you were saying that you're the dexterity.
I'm actually closer to your age than you have any idea. But yes, it's really important to have eye contact. You can't believe how much more successful you can be if you connect with people. So many people just want to text. They're afraid to talk. Practice talking.
Yeah.
It's just like all these other skills that you've really excelled at.
Even in my training facility, I'm there training amateur wrestlers. I'm training professional wrestlers. I'm training mixed martial arts submission grapplers. But I would bring them in, and then again, you got to make eye contact when you communicate with people. You got a firm handshake. If you're a man, a firm handshake. But then I would bring in other people like a nutritionist. So they're not just hearing me preach about it. I'll bring in an actual nutritionist. And they're like, afterwards, like, Dan, did you know? Yeah, I did know. But you guys aren't listening to me. I got to bring in somebody else. I don't care however you got the message. You finally got the message. And I have to do that with my own kids all the time because they look at me as, you're just Dad. Okay.
I know.
Yeah.
Well, you ever heard the saying, you can't be Jesus in your own town?
Yeah, it's kind of tough, yeah.
Yeah, I can't do it either. But, we know things over years and we study, the psychological, the physical, the academic.
You've experienced enough in life in there. You've got
all the
these
methods, all the techniques. And you've really done that, and you're really good at articulating it too, which is so much fun. And speaking of fun, which was the most fun, and was there a time in your life that you'll replay in your mind as the most fun you ever had?
Well, would be doing professional wrestling. but not as Dan Severn. I had, when I was first doing it, and not very many people even know this, I actually had Dan Severn would be on the second half of the show after intermission.
Oh.
But in the first part of the show, I was underneath a complete, I had a mask over my face so you didn't see my face at all. A whole bodysuit. I had gloves on, foot ornaments, the whole night, and I had this thing that where I looked enormous. And my character was called Tubby Tanaka.
Okay.
I look like a sumo. And I come with and I'd have the old black belt on and the whole 9 yards, and I had the Japanese flag, and I berated the Americans that were there. It was easy for whoever I was working with, and literally wasn't really a work, because when I'm out there, I'm saying, I was telling them how lazy and how illiterate all of you Americanos are.
Yeah, well.
And they go, and you are watching a Sony television in that. As I go,
Wow.
I ignited them, and I had a bag of rice, or I do these cast out the rice, doing my little sumo rituals, the whole. I put on, but I always tell people that Tubby Tanaka has an unblemished record. He never won a single bout. Never. But how I would always lose was I was so arrogant in my match. And like, I'll give you one example. I would be beaten up on the American restaurant I'm going against. He's beating up there. I would bring a chair into the ring. He's laying on the ground, stuff like that, and I would be berating the thing I'm about to do this guy in, and I would come over and I would smack it on a ring post here, so you hear the big clang. I go into the next ring post right there, bang, big old clang, and then I'd go right out in the middle of the ropes, the ring ropes. Mm-hmm. It's like a rubber band. I would smack it right in the river, go smack and go boom, pop me right in the forehead, and the rest of he would be up on all fours. So the moment I pop me in the head, I wobble backwards, I fall right over him. Just like the schoolyard, push him over, the person that's on all fours. He'd scoop me up, 1, 2, 3, and pin me. And win.
Do you think people got the lesson that being arrogant and leading with the ego is a good way to get knocked on your face?
You can, yeah. No, I think some of them did, because my whole aspect was when I put on these shows, I told them that you need to have a storyline that a child can relate to. If you watch some of the product that is out now, it is so highly sophisticated. I'm thinking the only person that's buying your BS is you. Mm-hmm. I go, you got to play to the crowd. Who's paying your salary? Oh, Vince McMahon, WWF's paying. No. If there's no one in those stands, you're gone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's true. We're always speaking into somebody else's listening. If they're not listening, they change the channel, and there you go.
See, that's just what you just did. That you did a knob changer.
Yeah.
Oh,
Boy, I'm really giving away my age, aren't I?
I'm gonna say, okay, growing up with brothers and sisters, stuff like that. How did you protect that channel? If you want to watch your program and someone else could, you pulled the knob off the TV. And they could do it. Next thing you know, someone would lose the knob, and now I got to use a pair of pliers to turn the channel. I mean, I'm showing my age here right now, but that was the era of the television. All televisions now, they're a flat screen. Mm-hmm. The consoles of yesteryear, it was a big old console. There's a big old tube that was inside of there. So,
well, don't worry.
Even record players,
Don't worry. We're going to live someplace between 120 and 180 years. That's
why I'm keeping my bell bottoms.
Yeah.
I feel they'll come back again at some point.
They will. They are. Absolutely. They are. But what you're teaching, I think right now we might actually be experiencing a shift, and I think we need to share a lot more of this kind of content and encourage people. Don't waste your time feeling sorry for yourself. look out here, see where you want to go, and let that pull you like a magnet. And, greatness. We're not all going to be in the UFC. We're not all going to be professional wrestlers. We're not going to have all these countless belts that you have. You've done everything. But look at your attitude, though.
But the same things apply to being. I just want to be a better parent. I want to be a better father too. I want to be a better brother too, sister too, whatever it is. I mean, it's communication. We have all this new technology, and yet we became a little bit more isolated from people. As I said before, people don't know how to make that eye contact. They don't know how to speak to people. But then, how many people know how to listen? So that's there's a lot of aspects right there that were. I really do want to restart up my training facility, just because through COVID, everything got shut down, and I did such a good job recreating myself that it was easier for me to travel to, as opposed to sit there and wait to see what all's going to show up at my facility.
Okay, so you have a vision, and where is this going to be?
Well, no, I mean it's I have in Coldwater, Michigan is where that will
Michigan.
Be. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I already have the facility, so I'll just revamp it and fire it up there, and it will. But I need to get a few more people on board, because I don't want to be the one that is there, rah shish kebab, doing all the type of aspect. I'll come in, but I'll have a couple of I'll say my children, although they're grown adults, they've got their own family, but I would have a couple of my kids involved with it, knowing that selfishly, these classes are aimed at my grandkids, so that they get to spend time with their children. But at the same time, you can't show favoritism, because other kids will notice that. Well, gosh, she's showing favoritism. No, that's where I go. Did I show that to you guys when you were in my classes? No.
Well,
I treat you like everyone else.
And it'll be better for them that way. Absolutely. Well, I'm just really excited to see what you do next. I can't imagine. I mean, it's an infinite universe. Any thoughts on other than the school?
It'll be like a magical type of thing. I'll simply pull a rabbit out of my hat. No, I'll continue to defy age barriers, because that's one of my goals.
Mine too.
And I will continue to raise the bar instead of lowering the bar. I've seen a lot of things that happen in more recent years, and it's kind of going, it's not what I'm looking to do. It's like, and the people that are going to be involved in my circle, the bar will be raised. Yeah.
Okay, and what do you do to stay young? What are your protocols? What do you?
Well, I mean, it's first off, I try to eat as the right types of foods, and I'll just leave it kind of general like that.
Well, you eat protein.
Of course, I do.
A lot.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not gonna be like a bodybuilder. I mean, they consume massive amount, because they're into a different type of realm of things. But no, I definitely try to keep a well balanced type of meal to do things. But it's I'm really big about Googling different types of things, specifically of what things to be eating for longevity, what to eat for strength, and what are some of the pitfalls of the senior citizens? So what do they have to watch out for? A lot of it is a sedentary lifestyle.
Right, sitting is the new smoking.
No, it is. That's where
got to get up and move around.
Well, even then, I'll say, like, if you saw like what my hotel room looks like, the moment I go into my hotel room, I've got it set up as the office. That desk set up, my laptop's there, I've got my planner out there, I've got things. I'm rocking and rolling within 15 minutes of being in my room. I'm rocking and rolling. I got everything all laid out the way to where it's like, this is mine, my domain. But then knowing that, okay, before you start, drop down, give me some push-ups, give me some sit-ups. But then knowing that I sometimes get caught up at work. So when I'm ready then to sit there and work, I'll set my timer to where I'll work for the next hour, maybe hour and a half. But I have to actually set my timer so that when it goes off, it takes me out of that trance, because I'm working away. There's been sometimes that I've worked nonstop for it, and like next thing I know, like 8 hours is gone. Like, wow, where'd I go? So,
Timeless
yeah,
awareness. You're in the zone.
yes,
You're
exactly.
doing what you love. It's fun for you.
Yeah,
I
it's,
mean, I
I,
wish that for everyone. I wish for everyone what you do is fun. It might not be wrestling. Whatever you do, if it's fun, you're going to enjoy it and you're going to excel at it.
yeah. Well, again, I'll say that I did work for other people doing different things, but because of what happened to me in that 1992 time frame, I relocated to Coldwater, Michigan for a job. A job that I was promised a certain salary, health benefits, the whole 9 yards. And I'm like, well, how long do I have to think about this? 2 weeks. And literally in 2 weeks, I sold a home. I bought a home. I bought a home based upon this salary and all that.
Oh,
And then I went to work. And at the end of the first week, I did not have a job. And I go, this was all that 1992 time period. And the first thing I see is like, I'm thinking to myself is, how am I going to keep the roof over my family's head? How am I going to keep food on the table? And I happened to see a flyer that said Tough Man Contest. Winner gets $1,000 and I needed $1,000. I packed my little duffel bag, went up to Battle Creek, Michigan, which is basically a 45-minute drive away. And I told my better half, I go, I'll be back in 2 days. And I went up there, and Tough Man back then was a 2-day event. Friday night, you just do one match. There's only, and it's basically boxing, but it's not boxing because it's not sophisticated enough to be called. It's brawling, is what it is.
okay.
3 1-minute, no holds barred type of brawling is what it is. And there's only 2 weight classes: 190 pounds and under, and then anything over. Well, I was in the category of anything over.
Oh.
Yeah. And again, I had people laughing at me because as I'm entering the ring, these guys are wearing like boxing trunks, tank tops, and things of that nature, and I'm wearing an amateur wrestling singlet. My hair is jet black, got a black mustache. I'm wearing amateur wrestling shoes. I look like John L. So. I don't even know how to hold my hands. I'm out there. People are like laughing and mocking. But I had always started training my professionals to training by just a few weeks. This was, I got early enough, this was actually being held inside of a professional wrestling ring. I already knew the dynamics of this ring and the rubber band effect of this ropes. So this big old hoss throws a couple meat hooks at me. I'm like, I should be able to run into him, hit him into the chest, got him backpedaling, dead center of the ring. So as the rubber band goes, I knew. And Nurse was going to bring it right back in as it comes in. I actually grabbed him right around the waist and I threw him in what's called a belly-to-belly suplex. And he goes flying through the air. He hits the canvas and he's just discombobulated as he hit. I mean, he's just basically like knocked out. Daffy's all get out. The crowd explodes.
I'm sure.
And the gentleman that owns it, his name is Art Dorr. He looked like Wolfman Jack back in the day. I mean, silver mop of hair, silver beard. He's got the old tuxedo. He jumps out of his seat. He's got the microphone in his hand. I look down at him. He looks at me. He goes, well, throw him again.
Oh
Game on.
God.
I can do this. God. I mean, literally, he told me, he says, I did that on a Friday night and I only had one match. He told me like Saturday, because then I had like 4 more people I had to go through on Saturday. He afterwards, after I won, he says, first off, he says, I didn't think you were going to win. He goes, you want to know how many people came up to see you? He says, you're like this barbarian that they never saw anyone finally throw someone through the air like this. He goes, then you're out there, you're clubbing like this way, you're clubbing this way. You get underhooks, you're doing hip tosses, you're like he says, I could take you like on a circuit to Barnum and Bailey or something like that.
Oh my gosh. Well, everything that you had done up to that point really led you to being able to do that. So a lot of us have had really stupid jobs. I could do a TED Talk on just really meaningless, stupid jobs that I did when I was really young.
Yep.
But they certainly all taught me something, and I think that's important that we are grateful for all of our experiences. And that was an incredible story to end on.
Yeah.
I
Well,
am
again,
so happy to do this with
you
you
enjoy
today.
like the way same way I did the seminar. I always end with like a little bit of a story there because I like to let people know didn't start off as a success. It's like, but I still have that mentality of like, do I really need to work now? No.
Right.
Will I continue to work? Sure, I will because I like what I do.
I can tell. I can tell. So this is a man that's always going to have something to share. Thank you for sharing with me today,
Well, thank you for
and
having me.
I'm thrilled. All I can say is, people, suffering is optional. Don't be a victim, and life is what you make it.
Ditto.